Good morning, everybody. So we're back, and today we're going to do the Guan Dao and Nunchaku nature practice part 3. So let's hit the magic button and boom! That's great. Okay, so today we're going to do the Guan Dao. And the Guan Dao is actually a long weapon, as you can see, and I have a special blade at the top and at the bottom. I will show you in a minute. It's mainly for people with a lot of force, big ones, because they need to use both hands. It was in the history of China. It's the weapon of General Guan, and you'll get some information about it in the video later. Today we're going to practice. I'm going to show you a few basic moves from Shaolin Kung Fu, and also a few Tai Fu Shin moves, and maybe even a form of Shaolin form. We'll see. So I hope you'll enjoy it. And I know most of you guys don't have that weapon, but I can tell you that in the past I used to create weapons from wood. So all those Chinese weapons that I couldn't get them, I was in Israel, even though I went to China occasionally, but I couldn't get those big weapons back home, and so I created them. I just draw them, and then I made the weapon by wood, and then I practiced the technique, and it's the same. It doesn't matter, because you're not going to fight with it anyway, right? So it's mainly for the art, soul, spirit, and your ability. So let's start. All right. Also to stretch yourself. Okay, so as you can see, the Guan Dao have two parts. The main one is the big blade. The main blade is here, and over here it's also sharp, and with those tips and the little tooth that comes out, or little moon, and you can stab also, and you can, like a saw, you can saw his neck or body. And of course you have the guard to protect from, when you hold the weapon, you have a protection for your hand. So if another weapon is striking, then you can get stuck here. And over here we have a triangle blade. So you can see here the shape. And that blade, when you thrust the opponent's body, you can actually make a drilling motion. So you are digging inside his body, and that's very, very brutal. It's just like the Yari, the Japanese spear, but of course it comes from China. So that kind of spear drill you in, and it was very sharp. This, of course, for training, but it was a very sharp weapon. They can also put poison on the tip of the blade, so once they cut or injure the opponent, he will be poisoned to death and won't have any chance to survive the attack. Also, that weapon can be applied against horses. So when a horse rider comes with his horse, you can chop the horse legs, so the horse will fall down, and then you can thrust the rider. That weapon have a lot of options, and the main thing is you have to learn first the basic skills with the long staff, and once you control the long staff skills, you can actually move to other type of weapons that require the same key points, like transferring, like I can do the wushu hua, I can transfer the hands, okay, move it around my hands in all different ways. We will go through it now, and then you learn the thrust, the cuts, all those motions. And of course you have to learn the Kung Fu motions, the body motions. So the weapon is an extension of your body. And once you control all that, then you can actually learn forms and fighting skills. And then later you can develop your own type of fighting. And nowadays there is no use of ancient weapons like that. Nobody going to fight in the street with that. It's not an actually daily life use. because you cannot use it for self-defense or fighting, except if somebody intruding the dojo and you are there, okay, you grab it from the wall and you just kill him with a Guan Dao. It can be awesome, right? But let's say in general, you don't have such weapon when you walk on the street. But what can you do with those weapons is develop your spirit, your fighting spirit, your warrior spirit, the enthusiastic about ancient weapons and the love for it, the joy of training, which is a very important part that some people are neglecting. They don't understand that actually the training itself, this is the main thing. This is the main core, this is the main dish. Not the surrounding, the topping, no, the cherry is above the cake, no. The main thing is the dough, you know, the real, what makes the cake, the training. The training is the main thing. And all you get out of it is a byproduct, but the training itself, this is the main core thing, and you have to train every day. All right, if you really a real martial artist. Okay, and the next thing is that weapon training also develop your mind, your body, of course, your spirit. It gives you perspective, and you are attached to a history, and if you are. And most people who do that is because they have that love and attraction and passion to ancient martial arts. And they feel they want to be part of it. And I think it's a great reason why to practice traditional weapon. Now, if you walk on the street and suddenly you have a fight and you go next to a building that's been constructed, not finished yet, and there may be a big board of wood or a piece of wood, and the wood is really have lots of chunks, you can't really slide the hands. But once you hold it in two hands, you can apply the movement same as you apply with a Guan Dao or any other heavy weapons like that. So you can use those techniques of the ancient weapon also in modern life. If you get an object that is about similar structure or characteristic, and then you can actually apply those techniques. It's not the main reason to practice Guan Dao, but you can also benefit from it. All right, let's start. So the main exercise I'm going to show today, the first one, will be how to control the weapon. Now the weapon is very different than a stick, because when I hold it, boom, there's a lot of weight on that blade side. So I have to make sure when I use the weapon I'm controlling the blade, because this part is very heavy compared to that part. So you have to balance your movements, and you have to balance the use of a big blade compared to a thin blade, and a light blade compared to a very heavy blade. All right, so the first one is a swing like that. Okay, so what I do, I bring my hand to the center, and at the same time I bring the other hand to the center, and I slide the hands and come to the other side. Now if it's a stick, we usually do it this way. But with a Guan Dao is different, because the blade is very heavy. So I have to slide the hands together and in a constant movement in order to control the blade and let it move by its pin area, which is in the center, and make sure it's moving balanced and relatively in the same motion, instead of doing that, for example. See, this is not a good idea. You don't want to do that. Okay, so what you're going to do, you're going to push the bottom to the floor, and then you're going to bring the hands to the center, and then you continue the motion, and then you bring the hand to the end. If it's a stick, you bring it all the way to the end, but with a blade, you bring it to the tip of the blade. You can also hold here, but over here is okay, and then the hand will come here. Okay, now you're going to bring it in, you're going to bring the other hand in at the same motion, and you flip. Now you don't want to let the weight of the blade drop down, so you don't want to do that. Don't want to do that. What you want to do, you want to keep it parallel to the ground. Now, you want to control in 4 ways. When you have a blade like that, you can use that blade in 4 directions. You can hold it this way, this way, this way, and this way. So every time the blade is pointing to a different direction, to the north, south, west, and east. So when you practice that part particular exercise, you can use the blade now pointing forward. And you thrust. Now you can use it when this part is up. And when you strike with this part. So you can imagine that thing comes to your neck. Oh, bad injury, right? Or maybe a bad death. All right, so you slide and you step forward to a gunbu. A gunbu is a bow stance. I'm not going to go through the stances. You can just, I hope you have some basic in Kung Fu so you can practice. Okay, now, then you turn and you come back. And you turn and you come back. All right, now you can do it when the blade is down. So you turn and you come from underneath now. So it's a new strike. So I slice him from down to up. So you see that movement is allowing you to move your weapon from one side to the other. Okay, next one is going to be a sun motion. We call it sun motion. So what we do, we move the blade back to its spot in a circular motion. 1, 2, 3. But the hands are upside down, and then we go to the other side. So you want to hold 1, 2, 3, and then you bring to the center and you go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now it's very hard with a big blade because the weight of the blade is pulling really strong toward the ground. But it's important to practice it. Usually you practice with a stick to acquire the ability, and then later you can use it in a fighting motion. So for example, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Now I use the blade. 1, 2, 3. Now I use the spear. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, again. 1, 2, 3. Now I can. So I block, parry, thrust. Okay, and I can do all those movements. Okay, the next one called a long sun. So I hit here, 1, I let the stick move all the way up here, and then I bring the hands on top. Then I release, turn, and catch. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And I roll the stick, the staff, I roll above my wrist. And it's good when it's hot, the blade is like a fan, so it gives me good air. Now how do I use it? Okay, let's do it again. From the side so you can watch. 1. Now here you bring the hand on top. I will do a tutorial with a stick, more detailed. Now I can go hit, I can hit, and I can bring the hand and around, and I can hit, and I can bring the hand and around, and I can hit, 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 thrust, thrust, change the grip. All right. The next one is like a propeller. It's more basic, and it will be used in other weapons as well, like the sanjagun, the stick, those kind of weapons. And it's important for the transition. So you hold the stick like that, and you hold the other hand on the bottom. You will leave the bottom hand and you will turn the Guan Dao all the way up. You bring the hand like a snake, or Bong Sao in Wing Chun, which means wing hand, and take the hands out. You lift it up and hold again on the top. Then you lift the hand, you turn over halfway, half moon, and back to its spot. And other side, 1, 2. Okay, so we start this way. Now you make sure that the fingers are pointing to different angles. So I'm hugging the weapon, and my fingertips are pointing to different direction. When I turn the stick, when I turn the weapon, I lift it up in a Bong Sao or a snake. I bring the other hand on top. Then I always going to leave the hands on the bottom. I will turn and hold on top. I will leave the hand on the bottom, turn and hold on top. Leave the hand and hold on top. Leave the bottom hand and hold on top. We call this sneaky snake, or nachash push chash. So we call it also like a regular and upside down. Regular grip, upside down grip. Regular grip, upside down. Now you don't want to hold like that. 2 hands pointing the same, because now there's no much grip. So if the weapon get a hit, it will be falling out of your hand very easy. So you don't want that to happen, right? So let's go for another one. The same action above the head. All right, so I'm holding the weapon above my head. Now 2 hands not that way. The hand that close to the blade is pointing outward, and the palm is pointing inward, and that hand is the opposite. Now I will do half, grab, half, grab, half, grab, half, grab, half, grab. So it's like a propeller of a helicopter above your head, and you can do the other way around. 1, 2, 1, 2. So you make sure it's always a half motion. Half and another half. Half and another half. You don't want to do like this way. You don't want to do that. Sometimes it looks better and you can make it faster, but if you get hit by if the weapon will get hit, you will lose it. And the last thing you want is to lose your weapon. That's what your opponent wants. We already covered it on the last lesson. So you make sure when you grip a weapon, you want to make sure that your grip is really firm. Now, how do you grip a weapon? When you hold a stick, you make sure that the pinky, the ring finger, the index finger are holding very tight, mainly from here, the 2 fingers, the pinky and the ring finger. Why? Because there is a meridians here that goes all the way, and they are protecting and they are taking care of the grip. Also, when we grip a gi, we always use those 2 fingers to grip properly. And those fingers actually are only like a stabling. The next thing you want to do, you want to place the pillow of your pinky against the top part of the handle of the weapon that you are using. Whether it's a sword, a halberd, a spear, whatever, okay? It's very important. And the motion won't be so much of a wrist motion, like you do in Nunchaku and other whip weapons. It will be more of a solid hold and a solid strike fashion. All right, so you got to make sure you do that. We will cover it in another tutorial. I will explain more details, and we will go through some weapons, and I'll show you how I hold the different weapons in different ways, and how it's better to hold so you won't lose your weapon during the practice. And all kind of key points when you practice a certain weapon and you move it or turn it around your hands or your body, you want to make sure that the grip is well. Sometimes people will loosen the grip, and in case you get hit, you will lose the weapon. So you don't want that to happen. All right, the next one is the Wushu Hua. I don't teach the Wushu Hua now, but you can see how we do it, the same thing with the Guan Dao. I taught the Wushu Hua also already in my Instagram, in one of the tutorials. I think it's also on the YouTube channel. I'll check. If not, I'll upload again. And there will be, I will give a tutorial how to do the Wushu Hua. and you can use it. The second thing is, of course, you can do a figure 8, backward and forward. You can switch your hands also. You want to make sure you don't make a mistake, because when the blade is very wide, so when you swing it around your body or and close to your head, if you do that, you can get scratched. You can pick your eye and lose your eye. It's not a joke. I mean, this is a very serious blade, so you have to make sure you do it very precise and very careful until you get a good grasp, so you won't get hurt. You don't want to get hurt. Okay, the other one is we move it around the body. Okay, so I'm holding it and I move it, right? And when I move it around the body, I move the body together and I release the Guan Dao, then I can throw. Okay, I'm going to do a few movements. This is a short form of Shaolin Kung Fu. I haven't practiced it for a long time. And we're going to move to the Nunchaku. Alright. Okay guys, this is actually a special Nunchaku that you can open it. You screw it out. And then it becomes a Nunchaku and you can use it. And also you can use it like a stick. So it is like a modern tool, weapon that you can actually buy in those martial arts stores. And it's pretty effective, very nice to use it. And I'm going to show you a few techniques with the stick. I want to show you a new technique today, combining a kick, a side kick together with a Nunchaku. And I hope you can practice it and enjoy it. Alright, so let's try. So the first thing I want to show you is about the hitting. When you want to hit your opponent, you can actually hit him in 8 directions, or just like the wind direction. So I can hit him to the top, I can hit him to the temple, I can hit him to the temple from the other side, I can hit him to the ribs, I can hit him to the ribs from the other side, I can hit him to the balls or the chin, I can hit him diagonal, cutting the body diagonal, and I can hit him the same way to the other. Also I can thrust with the tip of the stick, and I can also continue. I can also do from the other side. So if I hold this part, I can also hit straight forward and hit different vital points accordingly, however I want to use it, and depend on the distance of the opponent. So if he's very far and I want to hit him in using all the lands, then of course I extend my hand. If he's close by and he's very in a short range or very close range, I can use my elbows, striking and take the stick as a part of my body and attach to my elbow so I can hit him in close range. And if you have a weapon like a knife, I can block and then I can hit and do all kind of arm bars and chokes and all kind of stuff. All right, I'll show you later once the COVID over. I can use a partner, then I can score and okay, so let's do a little Taifushin movement and then move to some more structural movement. Okay, the reason I breathe and push the air is in order to transfer the chi through my hits, through my body into the hits, into the strikes and the blocks. By using that force of breathing, transferring the chi and channeling it into different areas, I'm getting more power and I'm unifying my body and my energy, inner energy. Now the Taifushin chi moves in a very special way that imitates the wind in different ways. Like the wind is different, right? You have a storm, you have a light wind, you have a very fierce wind, you have tornado, hurricanes, typhoon, monsoon, all kind of different type of movement of that wind. The wind can slap, can pat, can break, can tear, can do a lot of damage when it needed. The most thing about the wind is that you can't predict it. You don't know where it comes from. You don't know where it goes. You don't know how it's going to turn. You don't know if it's going to suddenly turn to another way, disappear. So you want to be like the wind. You want to be the same way. You want your spirit and your fighting ability to be in that way. The chi will be transferred through the body in that motion. The next exercise I'm going to show you is actually you kick together with the stick when it's closed. All right, so the guy is hitting me, so I'm blocking. I hit him, he blocked me. I strike his chin. I go down on him, and once he escapes, I hit again, and I strike with a side kick to the face. All right, so. All right, so you can try that. Okay, now let's start. This technique I want to show you today. I'm holding the nunchaku closed, okay? Then I'm striking. As I hit, I lift my knee and I grab the nunchaku. Then I turn, I hit, and I hit him with the nunchaku to the face. Then of course, I can continue to any techniques I want. All right, let's do it once more. One more time. Wow. All right. Alright, so I hope you can make it, and yeah, you try it. Okay guys, so I hope you enjoy the lesson. I hope you make best use of it. So next coming up, new stuff of type machine, lots of flies here. Anyway, I wish you all the best. Stay tuned, stay strong, keep up the spirit. Every technique, thousands of times, and remember the most important thing is practice, practice, practice. Practice make progress. All right, good. You progress yourself, you move forward, and you become better. And do good things, and good things comes to you. And don't forget, subscribe here, more clips here, new website coming up, and stay tuned, safe and strong. All right.